Whenever I question people about why they don't read, the common culprit seems to be reading stamina. People believe that they cannot read more than a few things without eventually getting tired, without eventually getting bored, which is fine. It's reasonable, right? But then it makes you wonder, how many people see reading as this thing that you just get into? That you kind of just jump into the fray and, you're either good at it or you're not good at it. Reading is like the mental version of running. You got your jogging, you got your sprinting, you got your focus on stamina, you have your focus on endurance, you have your focus on cadence, you have your focus on long distance. There's different factors that you have to pay attention to, different qualities that you have to improve with running, and the same thing could sort of be applied to reading, just in the psychological sense. Now, right here on this table, I got 3 respectively different levels of reading. The 48 Laws of Power is one of the first books I ever got. It was just a phase, Mom, I promise. From the looks of it, you would think that this would be a heavy read. You would think that it would take like a whole year to comb through and that you'd probably spend the rest of your life trying to figure out every little nuance that Robert Greene explains. And you start reading and you realize it's actually pretty simple to understand. It's very simple to digest. It's in some ways crafted for the general reader. And in that sense, it makes it a fairly well-rounded book. Yes, it's going to be a fairly long run, but the tempo, it ain't quite as high, Then I got here one that's a bit more well-rounded in both complexity and length. This one might be for the more experienced runner. This one might be for the guy who could do a marathon at 8:30 pace or whatever the hell. Whatever the reading equivalent is of that, I guess. Fyodor Dostoevsky is the Brothers Karamazov. It'll be difficult to understand if you're just getting into reading. It'll be especially difficult to understand if you're not into Dostoevsky or his work or don't understand the philosophy of Dostoevsky. And so it might take a bit longer to break into. And that, on top of the distance, it might scare quite a few people away. But it won't be as complex of a read once you understand the base foundation of what's happening and the scenes and the different characters, and once you become immersed, it takes quite a bit longer to reach that smooth cadence that you're aiming for. But once you do, suddenly everything becomes a lot easier to digest. Then it's just a matter of getting through the rest of the book. Then you have something like this, which at face value doesn't seem like much, but Friedrich Nietzsche's Beyond Good and Evil is borderline incomprehensible. Quite frankly, when I bought this book, I wasn't even ready for it. I didn't think it would be like sprinting up a steep ass 100-foot hill for 20 reps at 10 sets with like a 30-second rest. But that's how this book feels. Suffice it to say, there are levels to reading. There are levels to the art of literature, and being able to find your level and find interest within that level will make it so much easier to break into reading, because then you could find that happy ground, you could find that balance. And once you finally feel like pushing the tempo, once you feel like increasing the capacity at which you can engage with a book, then you can start to step into more advanced literature. You can't quite escape the strain that comes with reading. You're going to tire out. Your mind is going to want to go someplace else. But being able to maintain that focus for just 15 minutes, perhaps, and then being able to increase that double, then being able to increase that by maybe thrice that limit, and then continuously building over that over the course of years. I mean, you could become an expert in no time. It's just that barrier to entry. It's something to work past. But certainly, there are levels. You have to understand your levels and work up from there.